pretty bad week for the tech sector, on the surface at least. Is the sector in a funk?
To some extent, I think it's a case of slowing sales growth rather than any sort of long-term funk, as you might say. We've had fairly high expectations, at least the tech sector, compared to everything else going into this season. So what you're seeing is a sort of missing forecast, yes, but that's because we were expecting so much from them, and they're just dealing with an area where sales growth slowing down, but still seeing fairly reasonable growth.
But there's no one issue at play here. I mean, for example, Google is struggling with the mobile ads, Microsoft with a shift from PC, Nokia handset sales, SAP struggling in Asia. So it seems to be a mix of reasons here.
Yes, there's no one theme really underlying this. I think it's all each company facing their own individual problems, but at least you can draw parallels with Google and Microsoft both adapting to the changes in the market from fixed PCs and larger equipment to the smaller tablet-focused products.
And talking of Microsoft and tablets, ARM Holdings today in Europe, shares are down almost 3%. ARM, of course, provides the chips for the Surface tablets, and Microsoft had to take a $900 million charge.
Exactly. Microsoft is something of a latecomer to tablets in a way. They've only got 2% market share. Now compare that to Apple's 39% market share. So still a long way to go, and they're sitting around 6 million unsold tablets. So you can understand why they're slashing prices. So it's something that Microsoft really has yet to sort of crack yet, this particular tablet market.
ARM shares, as I say, down almost 3%, but you think the stock represents good value?
Well, I think given the broad base of its supply to all those other firms, not just Microsoft, it does put itself in a very good position. It does benefit from even, yes, sales growth slowing, but still a lot of expansion, I think, to be seen in tablets and in smartphones, which continue to develop and evolve. So it's because it's not dependent on just Microsoft that ARM is a secure area.
Now, one of the areas in technology that's bound to grow in the months and years ahead is of course, cloud-based computing, cloud databases. We spoke to the CEO of SAP yesterday. He was very optimistic about this area, but the question has to be, will it be able to generate revenues?
Well, SAP said it's a tremendous opportunity, cloud computing, which sounds a bit like corporate speak, but we haven't quite figured out the way ahead with this. I think the issue really is the transition from fixed-based centres of data to really mobile data. And we saw growth in cloud computing was quite impressive, 56% growth from the first quarter of 2012 to the first quarter of 2013. And for big companies like SAP, the focus will be the mobile streaming, the growth in the use of mobile tablets and other phones instead of just PCs. And that's where the innovation will come. Yes, at the moment it's going to be quite fairly light on margins, but it's the sheer scale of the business that I think they're looking at really.
Okay, just to finish up, of all the big tech companies here in Europe, which one, you've mentioned ARM, which you think is poised to do quite well, relatively well. Which ones do you think are looking less well-based?
I mean, the one that continues to lag behind really is Nokia, and despite the company's best efforts to pull itself up by its bootstraps, it's still suffering. The handsets, Lumia handsets, still not selling well in the US at all. In fact, the sales there dropping in the US. So the company is still really not catching up with its bigger peers like Apple and Samsung, and its battle for the handset market seems to be a losing one really for Nokia, and that's why I don't think the prospects are particularly bright for Nokia.